This guy, you want to talk about a generous person. This guy just got a $15.9 million bonus. And you know what he did with that bonus? He gave the entire thing to homeless folks. So, it gives you one more reason to maybe kind of like a guy like Jared Goff, who, yes, he makes a lot of money. I get it. But let's just think about this, guys. We're talking about nearly $16 million that he's just saying, you know what? This is who I am. This is what I care about. I don't think people should be having to sleep on the streets and all the rest of it, and blah, blah, blah. But we'll talk about kind and generous. This is absolutely phenomenal. And on top of that, I think we should jump right into it because I had the Detroit Lions as one of those that I wanted to talk about. And the reason I wanted to talk about this is the NFL has already started. For the people who don't know, the camps are going on. It's kind of craziness out there. There's a lot of people waiting on contracts and a lot of people angry about the fact that they haven't gotten signed yet and all the rest of it. But I thought I'd focus right there back at the Detroit Lions because I look at this team that looked like a potential Super Bowl team this past year. They did not make it, but daggone it, they were good. They also lost the offensive coordinator because they were so good, the defensive coordinator because they were so good. Johnson and Glenn both are gone. So what happens to the Detroit Lions this year? Well, they get back Aiden Hutchinson, which I think is a really big deal. They get a lot of other guys back that are getting a little bit more salty, a little bit more experience right now in terms of how their football is because they had so many draft picks in the last 3 or 4 years. We're talking about guys that are still 23, 24 years old. So they're going to get that much better. I love the head coach, Dan Campbell. I think the world of him. And here's a question I've got for you. As much as I've just gone on and on about Detroit, who will win the NFC North, which is the category of your Minnesota Vikings, you got the Green Bay Packers, you got the Detroit Lions, you got the Chicago Bears, right? Who wins it? But outside of that, even more importantly, can all 4 of them, because they're really good teams right now, and I know you follow this more than I joke about, Justin, but I think all 4 of these teams could get in the playoffs. I think that's how good they are. And the AFC has the AFC East or whatever, but this is the NFC North. And I'll tell you, I am so impressed with all of them. J.J. McCarthy with the Vikings, everybody's all excited about that. The Bears, because of the new coach, everybody's excited about that. The Packers and Jordan Love, is he going to continue to rise the way he did last year? There's a lot of reasons to think that maybe all 4 could potentially be in the playoffs. What do you think right now? I know you like watching this stuff, man.
I actually totally think that this could happen. So the North's the only division with all teams at plus 170 odds or better to qualify. Last year, 3 punched the ticket. No division, though, has sent all 4 since the playoff expansion from what I've read. So, with cannibal games like Lions at Packers, someone could get left out. It's tough to say.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's interesting, though. And I'll tell you what, these are all the storylines that come out now that when you start camp, everybody's now looking ahead, right? And as guys do finish up signing those contracts and everything, it gets that much more interesting. And, they literally are still big kids, man. I mean, as a guy who actually was lucky enough to play there, I was just a big kid running around having a great time. Contracts and everything, leave that up to the agent. Just get what you can get and get out there on the football field and have a lot of fun. All right, next up. Not to too much football, but I got college football for you right now. There's 2 schools that I think are really, really interesting and have incredible coaches that are there. Curt Cignetti is the head coach at Indiana. Indiana is a basketball school. They have never been thought of much as a football school, at least not in my lifetime they haven't. But let me tell you something. Last year, new coach, he brought in the right guy at quarterback. That guy's now in the NFL. And he's just brought in another really good quarterback. They signed this kid from Cal who had a great year last year as well, Mendoza. So they're expecting big things again from Indiana as far as where they're going to go, which is really interesting because when you look at the Big Ten, you're going to always talk about Ohio State, Michigan, Penn State. Those are your leaders. Well, some of that got jumbled up a little bit last year with Indiana. And the other one is Illinois. And Illinois is a really interesting one because Brett Bielema is a polarizing guy who's the guy that I think I would love to have played football for. He's younger than me, by the way. But he's just that kind of guy as a coach where, you love to have him on your side. You'd hate his guts if you were on the other side. And he is a guy who you want to talk about people who talk trash. Bielema is one of them. As a coach, as a player, Heck, he was a player that when he was playing at Iowa, playing against Iowa State, he came up to the other coach and he said, you're a big prick. It's been a pleasure kicking your ass for the last 5 years. I mean, who says that to the opposing coach? But it makes for fun. It makes for a lot of things. But what I find out the most interesting is Indiana and Illinois suddenly become powers last year. I mean, these guys won more games, double-digit wins, than they've won in a really, really long time. So can they do it again? Can they get past Michigan? Can they, or at least up with Michigan, Ohio State, and Penn State? I also got my Minnesota Gophers, who I think look a little bit better each and every year. Had a great time as far as signing kids this past year as well. So what do you think? Is it still going to be Ohio State, Michigan, and maybe Penn State, or is there room for others to maybe start sneaking up and start getting closer and closer to winning it?
It's tough to say. I hear everything you're saying. I was going to come in and say that I think Oregon comes in and dethrones Dylan Gabriel, but I think Illinois and Indiana probably crash the top 4 party. It's going to be a dense conference is my take.
Yeah. Well, it's always interesting. They got Washington too, which is another one. USC, UCLA. I mean, the Big Ten is really impressive. One of the things that I really liked about the Indiana coach was he had a quote up there, and he was talking about how he's just going with the SEC philosophy, which is you play a bunch of pancakes the first 3 weeks, and then you get into the football season, as opposed to scheduling. Because they were asking, they go, "Hey, your schedule looks kind of weak." He goes, "Looks just like the SEC, huh?" I mean, yeah, you gotta love that. This Big Ten SEC thing they've been bonking heads for a while now. So sooner or later we'll get some answers. But the Big Ten has bounced back in a big way. So anyway, thanks so much, Justin, for coming with us. Really appreciate that. And what time tomorrow? If I remember, it's going to be 1 p.m. Eastern time tomorrow. I don't know if John will be here or not. If he's not, we'll have Justin again. Giddy up.